Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here today to give you a demonstration and review of a new modular backpack called the Xpedition, and this is from the company Bagsmart. Now, I've previously reviewed one of their, kind of more conventional photography backpacks before, and so you can check out that review here. This is kind of a different proposition, and so while it is a bag that is designed for photographers, it's also designed with the potential to use it in a variety of different kinds of settings. And so this is a 20-liter bag in terms of the internal storage. And so that makes it kind of a medium, moderately sized backpack that's not going to be too big or overwhelming for any, I don't think any individual, but it has a lot of potential for kind of modifying it, which we'll get into in just a moment. First of all, let's take a quick look at the exterior of the bag. Why don't we start on the bottom? One of the things that I do like about this design is that as a photographer, it has actually straps on the bottom for mounting a tripod to it. Now, in some cases, obviously, if you're using a full-size tripod, that can end up being, maybe feel like it's a little too, the tripod sticks out a little bit too far on the side. But if I'm traveling, typically, and actually backpacking, I tend to be carrying a smaller, compact travel type tripod anyway. And so what this allows me to do is to actually carry a tripod along the bottom by Abbott, and it's a carbon fiber tripod, and so only weighs a pound. It's only a foot across in width. And so, but what I can do is, as you can see, I can easily fit that on the bottom of this in a way to where it adds very little extra bulk, and also it doesn't affect the balance. Balance is kind of a key component to this bag. While you can't physically see it, underneath the skin, there is something they call the X-frame. And so there is actually a rigid surface underneath that has different mounting points that is designed to evenly distribute weight. And we'll see that a little bit more as we head into the inside of the bag, whiplash there. And so, but anyway, it really helps to, whereas a lot of bags, backpacks, you can end up with a lot of everything kind of just settling to the bottom, and so the weight is kind of dragging back, not distributed very well. This is designed to keep things distributed properly. In fact, designed to where the heavier portions of what you're storing in there go up towards the top of the bag, and so it's carried more appropriately. So along the side here, first of all, you'll see on either side there is a blue strap here that can be either tightened or loosened. And what that is it's a little bit like on a suitcase where you can zip out an expandable portion if you really need to stuff the bag. And that's what this is designed to do. It's designed to give you an extra, few inches of storage area there so you can expand out if you're needing to really cram stuff into the bag. And so it's designed with that in mind. And obviously, if you want to go for a tighter, sleeker look, you can simply adjust those straps accordingly. On this side, there is a zippered portion, and this is a kind of a multi-purpose pouch. It can be stored with a lot of things. It's got inside here like a key ring if you wanted to store keys in a secure place, maybe when you're traveling. A lot of times when I am flying, for example, that's one of my kind of key concerns, pardon the pun, is that I want a place to put my keys where I'm going to be able to find them when I'm looking for them when I arrive back at an airport. So it's a pouch that can expand some, as you can see, and so you can store a variety of things in there. Now, along this side of the bag, there is a nice big zippered portion for storing your laptop in there. And so you've got padding on the outside that's going to protect it there. And then there's also some internal padding that will help to keep your backpack secure, or excuse me, your laptop secure. Now, interestingly, on the other side, there's actually another kind of hidden compartment, which is a great place to store something like, say, a passport. You could also put like something like an iPad mini or, a smaller type device, but there's room to store something in there. You've also got has a nice bit of actual flex to it. Good place to put a water bottle or something on the exterior of the bag. And so that's a fairly deep pocket, but is like a stretchy mesh that allows you to have some versatility with what you put in there. Now, in terms of the actual like weather sealing or weatherproofing, this is actually designed with weather sealed materials on it, and so you don't have to use any kind of additional rain hood. It's going to secure your gear just in its native materials. That's a little bit less of a pain, I find, and it also means you can continue to access your gear. Now, before we jump into the interior, let's take a look at one of the key aspects of this bag and why it's called a modular bag. It's called modular because you can configure it in a variety of different ways, and you can actually purchase it in a variety of different configurations, or you can purchase, and we'll cover pricing towards them, but you can purchase the multiple options, and so you can configure it in a variety of different ways. But it employs something that they call a Fydd Lock. And so this is actually like a little sling bag that you can add to the exterior. It's compact, it's got pouches. I mean, it's, as from a photographer's perspective, I mean, you could, pop a small mirrorless camera in there. I think of it more as just a place to store kind of ready items. But these are, it's a combination of a magnetic type lock, and so you should be able to hear it pop into place. I'll do that again. You can hear that snap into place, and so once that's secured, unless you know the system, it's not easy to just kind of break it away. And so it helps to secure your item, keep it close there. And in this case, this, you can mount this little sling bag here. You can store items in it, but then also if you're just wanting to carry a few items with you, it actually has a strap inside, and so it can be carried in a sling fashion. And so it just makes it useful for carrying a few items. It's got a couple of zip pouches, kind of your main pouch and then a front pouch, and so a good place to carry different things there. The other thing too is to access the interior. One thing that Bagsmart is good about is it's designed with security in mind, not keeping your items actually secured. And so first of all, it's got a slider Fydd Lock here. And so it's got a magnetic component. And here, unless you actually know how to use it, which in this case is you have to go in opposing directions, and then it will snap back into place and you can kind of magnetically get pulled in there. And so it's a very secure locking system. But unless you know how to do it, it's not going to be easy to get into. And so then you can actually move the top portion back, and that exposes here some zippers that you can slide down on each side, which will expose the interior of the bag. So first of all, you've got a zipped kind of mesh portion here that you can store quite a few things in on the interior of this outer flap. And of course, if you've got the expanded area open, you have quite a bit of room to kind of stuff that if you so desire. Inside, you have got two different sections, and this is where the kind of the modular component comes into place. Now, I've got it actually set up at the moment for photography, and so the photography portion, again, it utilizes the Fydd Locks to mount these in, and so you can pop that free like that. And these are the two sections that you can come together, and they kind of mount together through a Fydd Lock system on the bottom of them. So the lower side, which would be the lighter portion, you have got a zipped pouch where you could store lenses, 3, reasonable size lenses. You've also got in all of these, you've got zip portions along the top where you could store cleaning cloths, memory cards, extra batteries, etc., etc. And so you've got that. And then in the top portion here, it's a larger padded storage area where you can, put cameras, lenses, flashes, whatever it is. And of course, it's got all of these Velcro type extension things. And so you can sort this internal space in a variety of different ways, store a few bodies in there. Once again, you've got a fairly significantly sized mesh portion here. It's not zipped, it's just got kind of tension on it along the top, but you can store obviously quite a bit amount of gear in there. So the way that this is designed is that obviously these would clip in together, and then these would actually go down and magnetically pop into the Fydd Locks there, and so they're secured. And so where all of your gear is not going to be tipping back and forth, but it's going to be held in a rigid, secured position. And also the bulk of the weight is going to be high up in this bag. And so it means that not only is your gear secured, but its weight is distributed to where it is very, very comfortable to carry. And so before we look at the other kind of internal configurations, let's just come back here for a moment and look at the back. On the back here, you have very nicely padded kind of ergonomic panels that help to have the right pressure points. And so the weight is distributed well. You have some, various straps you can connect items to. And then of course, very importantly, You have a chest strap that can be configured up and down along these, and so you can make sure that the actual securing point is at the right place. Other thing that I do like down here is that the straps for tightening or loosening, they've got just a little loop here at the bottom, and that may not seem like a big deal, but if you're actually trying to tension up a backpack, that makes quite a big difference, because it's just, you can very easily just kind of, put a thumb into there or whatever, and put tension on that to, tighten it down to where everything is sitting just as you would want it. So it makes it carrying gear, even some heavy gear, a very comfortable experience. So let's look at some of the other ways you can configure the bag. These are the travel type components, and so you have got a clothes storage area, and so if you're wanting to carry, maybe traveling for an overnight or whatever, you can carry clothes in here. You do have straps in here like you do in a lot of suitcases that can help to hold say trousers or something flat and secure them, keep them from moving around. The fact that it's actually mesh, of course, allows things to breathe here, and so you can store your clothes in there. And then you've also got a secondary bag here that could be configured for toiletries. You could put other, and so it's got a nice pouch here on the side where you could put some toiletries in this. It's got straps where you can secure things, toothbrush, razor, etc., etc. And then along the top of this, there's also a separate component that once again has mesh storage areas inside to help to secure items. One thing that Bagsmart has done a lot of is to develop organizers. And so, you could fit quite a lot of stuff in here and secure it in a place where it's easily accessible, because they have added a lot of different ways of securing things inside. So, obviously, this is a 20-liter bag, and so you're not going to be packing for a week in here unless you are wearing just swimsuits the whole week. And so, there are limitations to how much you can pack in the travel, but it makes for a great configuration if you're wanting to travel quick and light, just carrying on a bag, for example, onto an airplane, or just traveling in a way to where you need to quickly maneuver. And of course, you would do the same thing in terms of securing inside. There is the Fydd Lock system inside, and so the heavier item goes down on the top, and the lighter item down on the bottom, and it would travel like that inside. And so that is the travel option. You also have here an option for business, and this is really designed a lot around the transfer of carrying documents. And so you have actually got a portfolio type case here that opens up, and it's big enough to put large documents inside in a way that they're not going to get wrinkled or messed up. There are deep pouches on either side of here to help to secure those items. And in this case, you've also got a pouch that flexes out here, and it's set up with all kinds of organizing inside. Place for your phone, for pens, different kind of structure there. And then up at the top, you have got another compartment that is designed where you can put all kinds of different stuff in here, all kinds of little divider. And so in this case, if you wanted to also travel along with some gear, you've got place to put memory cards or just any variety of different things. It's kind of a multi-purpose organizer that's there. Now, in the case of using this particular division inside, you're left with a lot of additional space that you could put other components into. You could have this kind of floating underneath, and let's say that you also you're wanting to travel with documents, whatever, and then you're also a photographer. You actually have room to secure the photography portion in there as well with that document case. Now, in this case, you're not locking down the photography portion, but it's sitting in there very tight and secure, and so once it's all strapped down, you should still not have a problem. So you have options for how you can configure this space. You have room where you could fit that in there. And truthfully, you could even fit this component in. You could reverse those around and put both of these in here. And so you can, you can mix and match and fill that bag up. Or of course, at the end of the day, if none of one of these configurations suit what you're looking for, you could just fill this space however you want, because all of this can be removed, quickly and simply, leaving you with a fairly large, just completely open space inside the bag, 20 liters worth of storage. So finally, let's talk about price. I mean, everything that I've seen here, I've not used this stuff long term yet. I've just used it for a few weeks. So it's hard to determine how long, in terms of wearing long term. But so far, my experience with Bagsmart bags is that they are very well made, good components, and user responses seem to be very positive on them. This is a brand new system that's actually just going to like a crowdfunding campaign right now. And so you can get on board there by going to the Bagsmart website, which I'll throw a link to in the description down below. But to give you an idea of how things shake out for pricing is that if you're set up in the modular that is designed for travel, and so that gives you the sling bag, it gives you what they call the clothes bag, and then the wash bag, or your kind of toiletry type bag. That comes in at $235 US. And then if you're set up for the business component, which gives you the power bag for, and that's to help to support, cords and all kinds of various things kind of designed around your laptop. And then the document case along with the sling bag, that comes in at $245. You also have the option of going with the photography setup, which I've demonstrated at $265. And then if you bump up to $355, you get all of the various components, and so that you can configure the bag how you like. And so not an inexpensive system, but then again, none of these modular travel bags have been expensive because there's actually a lot of engineering and quality in them. And so anyway, if you're interested, you can take a look at their website, and also what's about to launch, the Indiegogo crowdfunding, to where you can get in the early stages, and you can make sure to get one of these Bagsmart Xpeditions as soon as they are available to the public. I'm Dustin Abbott. You can find all of that information in the description down below, along with options there for following me on social media, including now on Instagram. You can become a patron and get some sneak previews at upcoming content and a chance to interact with me before anyone else sees it. And beyond that, of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.